Hey y'all, so I did a thing. Let me explain. Hey y'all, it's Burgess, and I've actually moved a few things around in the barn studio. I have been journaling in the Hobonichi cousin Avec. For the most part, I tried to go back to doing it as a planner, but to be honest, I already had started journaling in it, and I love it. But one of the issues that I've been having is that I've been bullet journaling in the standard lately. It has been wonderful. I've gotten back into journaling just for me, just plopping things down, having fun. But you know what? That's really what I do anyway. And I can do it in the Avec. I'm going to go back to journaling in the Avec. I've already started, as a matter of fact, and we're going to set this up. This is the bullet journal planner kind of thing. It's a hybrid. It's going to be a hybrid. Let's go ahead. And it's quite windy out, so you might hear the wind. I talked about how at the beginning of the year, when I was very first using the Hobonichi Avec, how I had thought about planning in the whole one, in the Hobonichi cousin, and journaling in the Avec, because the Avec is two, one for the beginning part of the year and one for the second half of the year. And then I found this cover. This is the back side. This is the front side. I thought at first that it was embroidered like the A6 one, but it is painted on. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I have fallen in love with it. And it goes so well with my little A6 with the bird on it.
How come the stars come to shine when it starts?
And the planning doesn't really go anywhere. I may take my journal with me, but I have a Hobonichi Weeks that I carry around in my purse. It's the pretty bluish, purplish color with the birds on it. Birds and flowers, I am feeling all about some spring. And even in the beginning of the year when I got the one with the bird on the A6, the little green bird, and I got the Hobonichi Weeks with the little birds on them, I don't know, I'm feeling that's what's calling to me. And I went ahead and got the January start because I actually have the day free in the Moterm cover. And that's where I'm doing the majority of things like that. Work stuff, I'm jotting down ideas and notes and things, ideas and brainstorming and goals. And the bigger, more detailed stuff goes in the day free because I can write as much as I want. It's not dated. One of the things I was finding is that I needed a little bit more than the standard. And I love the standard, but I went out last week on Wednesday and took David's car to the repair shop to have a water pump put in. And I took it with me. It was heavy. It was heavy before I changed into the pink cover because I was finding that I wanted a sketchbook in it. I wanted I had an insert with the 12 months in it. I can go back to it. I can carry it around with me. It's not a big deal. But one of the things that I've been working on it, process not perfection. It's really helped me figure out some things like what actual collections do I need. I revamped the barn. I've moved things around. See the cubby? My printer's going to go on there. I'm excited about that. I have my flowers and the extra ink. This is where I plan out things. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. I wrote down the bulk of creativity, at least for me, tends to come from hard work, practice, showing up, self-discipline, and willpower, as well as a productive environment. The environment wasn't working. I didn't have this flow. I was stuck in the corner once we moved the chest of drawers into here so that I could have a place for storing big paper and things like that. It just became very closed in because that chest of drawers was so deep, and there was only one way in and one way out of that little corner I was in. And nobody puts baby in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. And I was in the corner. Okay, so this is future Burgess, well, editing Burgess. And y'all, I realized that I had missed a valid point when I was talking about the conversion from moving things in the barn around. It all started with needing something, but I wasn't quite sure of what. And part of that flowed with how I work. And it's not just about like the stuff that I do, whether it's journaling or planning or filming or editing or taking pictures or cleaning and organizing in here or whatever. It's also coming up with ideas. It's doing research. It's finding quotes, reading books, finding links. And when you bounce back and forth between journaling and planning, and you are also researching and figuring things out, and you are trying to also pay attention to your process, doing a lot of things in a confined space, and being backed up into that corner was just making it worse. I was already feeling a bit off with everything that has gone on in the past year. It's hard for anybody not to feel at least a little bit off. I had gone from journaling in the Avec to trying to plan in it to going back to journaling naturally, because that's what I do. It goes back to 2015 is when I very first started using the Hobonichi cousin, and it was the Avec that I used the July through December, and I was in the Hobonichi group, and I was Hobonichiing in a Hobonichi, which is a misnomer, but I was part of the group, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved the Hobonichi. And that's why so many people had started with the Hobonichi, and that's what I originally started with, was just a notebook. I think that one might have been the Miguel Ruiz, and I had all different kinds of ones that I used until I finally fell in love with the Nanami Paper 7Cs brand as an Omni journal, or the Taroko Design Enigma or Breeze as an Omni journal. The Hobonichi cousin works well as an Omni journal. So I naturally fall back to actually journaling in the Avec, because that was, that's when I got that original aha moment way back, that I could document my day and my journals with all of the goodness. The text journaling, the pictures, collage, everyday life ephemera, drawing and watercoloring. And it's really felt good to be creating art again. And all of that's still there. I still have that aha every time I do it, that joy that I am creating in my journals, and it's so much fun. It's way better than scrapbooking. So using the cousin, the whole cousin, to plan and bullet journal in, it actually feels more like a planner, whereas to me the Avec feels more like a journal. And so as I was going through the last few months of this year, the last few months, I originally way back thought about doing it this way, and then I was like, no, but now, as things are finally in all different kinds of areas coming together with the studio, with other things, it feels really good to be doing all of that. And I think it's showing. You're going to see as I do more of these videos in the Hobonichi cousin that it is a hybrid of sorts. It is, Ryder Carroll talks about how the bullet journal is not a planner, but I think we could use anything really as a planner, just like you can use a planner as a journal. You can make it whatever you want to. It doesn't have to fit somebody else's idea of what something is. And that's the great thing about the bullet journal. It's also the great thing about the Hobonichi. It's also the great thing about anything that you're using, whether people are memory keeping in a happy planner, I think that's what it's called, or an Erin Condren, or a whatever. People are doing all different kinds of things. And No Excuses Art Journaling, Gina Rossi Armfield, I think that's her name. She uses an agenda that she got from Barnes and Noble, and that's what she does her journaling in. Her art journaling in is an agenda. I think we can find things that work for us and whatever it is that we're doing, and that's what I'm doing now, is finding things that work for me and fine-tuning the things that I know already do work for me. So I've been working on color coding with the mild liners. I want to keep track of how many hours I spend working in the studio. The Calendex from January through February will be maybe an index, and then the rest of it will be a daily log, but I can put down colors of things that were done that day so I kind of know what was going on. The calendar will be for regular things. It is going to be a hybrid system of a planner and a bullet journal. So we're talking bills, appointments, events, deadlines, things like that. The weekly is where I was thinking about what I really wanted to do in the weekly. And I think the weekly is going to be for time blocks. I can work in chunks of time because I need to take breaks so that I can focus. I need to putter around a little bit so that I can refill my well. I also need to be able to just have a bit of a moment. I'll take a walk. Sometimes I'll clean and organize. Sometimes I'll go in the house and I'll do dishes. I'll start dinner. I'll throw things in the crock pot. I can actually color code so that I can block my time, like my morning routine in the house, my morning routine out here, what I get done in the first part of the morning, what I get done in the second part of the morning. So I have color coded where I actually have things that I do. So we have spiritual time, me time, cleaning and organizing, admin work, expense, income, deadline, research, work, film, edit, writing time, artist date. Like there are a couple of other colors I can include on here, but I thought me time could be some of that focus time. The one that I didn't have on here that I do need to put on here is home. What I'm thinking is on the dailies, I can write tasks. I can have a bit of reflection time, like how the project went or what I thought about what I did. On my monthly, I can have some to-dos. Beside the monthly calendar, some running to-dos, because I do need some to-dos. And then also, like, we can have the focus. And then that way I have all of the things. So I'm thinking about using the yearly calendar as a way to track my mood. So like I said, this is where I'm housing the day free because I'm really excited about using it.
Flying low under the radar, like a nighthawk stealth plane. You are hiding out in the shadows, keeping from the light of day. Nobody should ever have to live that way. Hey now, it's okay now. You don't have to hide from the world no more. Hey now, it's okay now. It's your time to soar. It's time to stand up straight and step into the light. It's time once and for all to have equal rights. Come along now. Hey now, it's okay now. You don't have to hide from the world no more. Hey now, it's okay now. You don't have to march in this lonely world. Hey now, it's okay now. It's your time to soar. Hey now, it's okay now. You don't have to hide from the world. It's your time to soar. How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder. How come the trees get undressed?
Is the setup of the Hobonichi cousin. I'm using the Avec as my journal. I'm using the day free for sort of collections and references and things like that. But for the immediate day-to-day regular kind of things, since I got the January through December and it's March, I'm not going to need to back plan. I mean, I can put some things in there in January and February that are relative to work, important things, so I can keep track of things. And I probably will go back and just do it in the calendars, but not on the weekly or the daily pages. So this is March, and I went ahead and I have some things that I listed that were from my to-do list elsewhere, and I've went ahead and kept track of and done things so that I know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, where things are going, and everything. I do have some things I still need to put in. I've just really started. I am pretty current with some of it, at least from like right here on, and I've backtracked a little bit. Here is April, where I did the little pink bunny rabbit with the watercolor. I don't know if that's going to be my theme, but I put it here because this is for work. I'm just going to kind of going with the flow. I do themes sometimes, but I've been practicing with doing different things and getting out of my comfort zone, and things like the bunny rabbit are out of my comfort zone. So what I've done where the weeklies go is I started with, I've actually written a bit of gratitude I need to finish, and I'm going to write some gratitude or reflection time or something like that at the bottom. So this is this coming week. And what I've done is, this is the hours I work, the hours that I'm in the barn studio. And that's important because I'm spending some days till the wee hours of the morning in here. And I got to get better at having some balance. This is important because David is off and we've got some things we've got to do. One of which is hopefully filing our taxes. And as far as dinner goes, this is probably going to be a takeout kind of night. I'm not cooking that day. I have these to go, and then I have some other things that I'm going to put in there. I'm still working on this. I spent a lot of time setting it up, and I want to go in bit by bit and put in the stuff for the week. Here I just have my mom's birthday listed and the little egg for Easter. And I have color coded so you can see where March ends and April begins. And then we get back here, and this is where I journaled. I wrote down notes and reflections about the things that we were doing in the studio on Friday and Saturday. Friday was when I got the faux Alex drawers in. I got them from Amazon. And then Saturday was when we put them together. Saturday was when we moved stuff out so we could rearrange. And I got rid of a couple of things, one of which was this little stand. It was like a little TV stand on wheels. And I had been using it for my printer before because it fit up underneath the craft table. But it had gotten really wobbly. It was really old. It was time to get rid of it. And that was one of the reasons why we put the chest of drawers in. Well, the chest of drawers was not working. I felt boxed in. So we rearranged. The Calyx units are now on the long wall. I will do a tour very soon. I'm going to drop a couple of pictures in. And then today has been putting everything together, organizing, making it have this Zen feel, this vibe for me. It's Zen for me. It's this more relaxed, not closed in, not boxed in, more open feel. And I can actually decorate. I have some wall space, a little bit of wall space now that I can actually put some things up. So I'm excited about that. One of the other things I went ahead and did this. Now I got this part, the daily task, and doing some reflections from Coffee Monsters Co. Helen had it in her how she daily journals in the Hobonichi. And this makes sense to me because I am going to maybe do time tracking on the sides. I need to do things in batches, which is why I have left this side open. It's why, like, over here I have these. Because I've done YouTube in the orange color to sort of kind of match Patreon for the membership stuff. So that's where I'm at with that. And then what I've done back here is I did a brain dump, trying to just get all of this kind of out. And then here is where I'm planning out the coffee chat for Patreon. And then we're going to get to April, because I did something a bit different. For April 1, I was at Michael's and I had gotten the Planner Girl Society thing. I had gotten the few things from Michael's that I'd picked up. One of the things I picked up was this piece of vellum. And then when I was going through the magazines, I had seen this and I loved it. That was in the Magnolia magazine and I cut it out. Well, on the other side of this was this other thing with the view that I loved. And then we have April's page right here. I still have plenty of room to put down, but I also have some things that sort of make me feel good. And as I close up March and I look at this, yes, makes me feel, whenever I see things like this, it makes me feel a bit of that refresh. It's like, I don't know how to explain it right now. I'm really tired, but it gives me, I don't know, it's just, it's pretty, and it doesn't get in the way of it being functional. So this Hobonichi may end up quite chunky, and if it does, that's okay. I am going to be adding pictures here and there of things that I do in the studio, or things that this, that's about how it felt when we were doing all this on Saturday, because we actually had to move some pretty big pieces of furniture around. So, like I said, these pages, I will be doing some things in them, gotten rid of the date, and written that. So I have plenty of pages between January and February to write down things. I still have the day free if I start running out of pages. I don't know that I'm going to back plan any of March's, so I'll actually have the first 2 weeks, at least the first 2 weeks of March, open to do whatever I want to on them. And I like this because whether I'm doing an Omni journal or a creative bullet journal or a bullet journal or whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm going to be creative in it. But this gives me room to do things and to write about the things that are important to me and that are going on. And then this way, as I reflect and look over what I'm doing, I can go, yeah, on Friday, I did a post and I showed the Alex stores, and it was a heads up, hey, I'm changing some things. I did that on Patreon and on the YouTube memberships. Here on Saturday, I did work in the barn and got everything together. I actually took some pictures to add it to the post, to the video that I was going to do for them. I still have to write a post because I want to write about my thoughts and stuff, which I'm going to do for this week because it's more behind the scenes kind of stuff, so I can link stuff and everything in case people have questions. Today was wrapping things up. I did a lot of filming. I've done a lot of organizing and cleaning and prepping. And one of the things that I've realized while reading From Chaos to Creativity is that there is a lot of time that I spend either researching, cleaning and organizing, getting things ready, picking out things, researching things, looking up color schemes, figuring out what I'm going to do for a journal with me or for a watercolor with me, refilling my own well, learning and studying, taking classes myself. Those are all pertinent, and I don't know why I've been feeling so bad because I'm doing a lot of things, and I think I need to start talking more about those things that I'm doing that are also in part of what I'm doing here. And that's been a wake-up call for me, and I think that's just as important. I'm not going to share, I won't share it to the point of revealing what people are doing in their classes, but it does give me a chance to say, hey, look, these are some of the things. And I do it here and there, but I haven't been very consistent with it because I didn't realize how much a part of the process all of that is. I haven't done anything with the back. I have, like I said, done this, and then back here, I talked about, which is why I color-coded all the months. Back here, I did fill this in, and then, like I said, this part's going to be an index, and then maybe this part might be an index. If I need to, I can use the bottom parts as an index and write down the topic and the date of the daily where I write about it. That's fine with me. I can do it that way too. I like this. I like this a lot, how I've done it. It's very similar to how I've set up other Hobonichi cousins, but this process of last year and this year and kind of coming to terms with my ultimate system, how things work for me, how I need the freedom to do things like the brain dump and to plan out coffee chats. I like this, and I was trying to force myself into doing certain things because I thought, well, that's going to work. It'll work. And then it didn't work. And what I may do for next year, I talked about at the beginning of this year, what I should have gotten was the Hobonichi cousin for the planner and the Hobonichi cousin Avec for the journaling, and then gotten a day free to keep up with collections and things like that, because I like having the calendar in there so that I can refer back to like dates and things, maybe even a blank notebook for more extended information, more like maybe a commonplace journal or something. That might work pretty well. I'm still working on things, and it's a work in progress, but now with all the spring fever, I don't know. I've done this before. I have started like a brand new bullet journal in April or an Omni journal. It's this time of year. It's not anything new. I've done it before, and I'll probably continue to do it because it's like January, February are more trial and error and figuring things out. I'm hoping that maybe by the end of this year, I'll have all of this down. I like switching up things though, but y'all, I'm loving. I've always loved the Hobonichi though. It's just been a love-hate relationship because I felt like I wasn't utilizing it to its full potential. And now I feel like I am, because at the end of the day, if I have blank pages, there's probably a reason. But at the end of the day, there's also the fact that I'm learning, and every time I utilize and every time I go through and I do things, it gets more and more functional, and I'm able to be more and more creative. That's important to me. I'm glad that I'm able to do this, and it feels really good to be able to do that. So I wasn't necessarily going to pick pink for April, but because April is Easter and I was doing the color coding with these, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough colors, and I could have put pink, but there were like 3 different shades of anything like red or pink or orange or whatever. So this is how it ended up. I have ordered a few stickers. I have a few new things. I'm going to do an unboxing. I might do that, and y'all will see it, and then we'll go up on YouTube. And I'm sorry if you hear the wind. It's been windy on and off all day, and now it's the evening. I'm happy going through and doing this bit by bit. But so you can see studio here, and then you see studio here. And then I'm probably going to, I'll probably put studio right here, because this is the vibe part that I was talking about. And I'm going to find a quote and put the quote right here, and then I'll write studio vibe maybe right here. So while I'm thinking about it, I could just go ahead and do that. And when it dries, I'll go in and write with the pen, and then I'm going to find a quote about creative environment to put right here. You know, and if I have room, I could maybe put the quote right here and continue to do a bit more reflection. I might do that. Put the quote right here and do a bit more reflection. I'm going to start doing the plan with me's for the Hobonichi on YouTube. I may change coffee chats to Thursday and do the Hobonichi plan with me stuff for Tuesdays. I'll see y'all again soon. Y'all have a great one, and thank you so much for being here. Bye, y'all.